Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Good to see you all. Welcome, everyone. Good to see you, Georgie. Good to see you, Bruce. Good to see you, Donald, Susan, Doreen, Rowena, Paul, Nina, Cindy. How are you all doing? Can wait a few minutes for see more people will join. Did you watch the introduction lesson? Did anyone see the introduction lesson? Good. Excellent, excellent. Very good. Are you looking forward for the class? I'm gonna make it very simple. I'm gonna make it really very simple. Great, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, we're gonna start. Welcome. Welcome everyone to learning Biblical Hebrew lesson 1. I will try to do it as simple as I can. My name is Andre and I will be your online Biblical Hebrew teacher. Now, this is the Hebrew alphabets. I will pronounce each alphabet and I will gonna tell you what we're gonna do each lesson. Aleph is the first Hebrew letter. Beit, Gimel, Dalet. So this will be our first lesson. I'm gonna organize it into 7 lessons. So we have to remember that Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Abjad, Abjad. Then we're gonna take Hey, Vav, Zain, How was. So this is the first lesson. Then the second lesson, How was. Then Hotti, Het, Tet, Yud is the third lesson. Then Kalman, Kaf, Lamed, Mem, Nun is lesson number 4. Then Sa'afat, lesson number 5. Samer, Ain, Pe, Sade. Then lesson number 6, Karshat, Karshat, lesson number 6. Kof, Resh, Sin, Shin, Tet. So in order to read the 22 or 23 Hebrew alphabets easily, we divided them into 6 parts. You can know them by heart. You say Abjad, Hawaz, Hotti, Kalman, Sa'afat, Karshat. This is a way to remember them. But our first lesson will be the first 4 Hebrew alphabets. Aleph. Today we're going to learn about it. Bet. Bet. We're going to learn how to write it. Gimel. We're going to learn the meaning of each word. And Dalet. Dalet. I just want you to hear the sounds because they are like boxy print letters. And remember, Hebrew is the blueprint of the Bible. Because every letter we're going to learn have deep, infinite, divine meaning. Because each letter manifests in the physical and the spiritual realm. And even more than that, each Hebrew alphabet come into different layers or codes, like we say, or numerical numbers. Like Aleph is 1, Beit is 2, Gimel is 3. And in English, the sounds of the alphabet does not have meanings, but in Hebrew, every letter have a sound, have a number, and have a meaning. And just to let you know, each letter points for Jesus, which we're gonna learn. So it's very important for you to know Hebrew to recognize this chart by heart and to use these words. Abjad hawaz hotti kalman sa'afat karshat. It's good to remember these words. But we're gonna make it simpler, very simple. Now remember, there are only 5 letters are written differently. Only at the end of each word. Only differently written at the end, which is the final form. But at the beginning or the center is the regular form here. So this is Kof. We call it Kof Sofit. Or Mem Sofit. Or the alphabet Nun. This is how we write it in the end, non Sofit. Sofit is end. Then we have Pe Sofit. And then we have Aretz, Sade. This is the Sofit. Only 5 letters to remember, only 5. And these characters are completely different only by the end of the letter. So we're gonna learn and repeat them again and again. Now, this sounds for you hard, but it's gonna get clearer every lesson. Again, there's another 6 letters with the dagesh in the middle. The dagesh is always in the middle. When you look at the Hebrew scripture about the Torah, try to look at the center of the alphabet. It's called the dagesh, which is pronounced strongly, all right? The dagesh. And if you look below the letters in any Hebrew scripture, it's the vowels, all right? Which we're gonna learn too. So in order to remember these 6 letters with the dagesh, which we say strong, like, for example, kaf with a dot, dagesh, which is literally means strong, dagesh, is kaf, like a king, but without a dot become che from the top of your nose, che. And then we have the pe and the fe, like pastor, fe like pastor, fe like alphabet. Then tet like Tony or toy. Then the like thin, the. And then we have bet, which we're gonna learn today, with a dot is like be. Be, dagesh from your lips, from the top of your lips, with a strong air blowing. You close your lips, you say be. Without a dot is ve, completely change the meaning of a word. Vine. Then ge, gimel, which we're gonna learn today also, is like ge, like God. Or without a dagesh, without a dot, is like ra, like agasta. And then de, dalet, is D in English, like with a dot, D. You always with a dot, strong, D. You close your tongue from the top and down together. You close your mouth from the top and the down. De, like a day, and then ve, without a dot is de. De like David, like David, de. Anyway, we're gonna learn all of that, but this is only an introduction. And then, of course, we're gonna learn about the vowels. The vowels is always underneath the letter, okay? The vowels, underneath the consonants. And the vowel system in Hebrew, we call it the nikud. It's forms of dots and lines, all right? Dots and lines. There are some above, some but few with the vav, but in general, it's below. And it's more complicated vowel system. I gave you just the basic one. because it gets more and more complicated, but this is what we need at this stage. Because there's more than 5 characters, but I'm going to give you the basic ones that you can read. Remembering 5 of them is sufficient for now. So we say, let me go back. We say, the long one and the short one, we call it the kamats, and then the patah. Then we say like pen, when you see 2 dots below, long and then short 3 dots, segol, shorter and then the hirek is e, green, you pronounce e, all right? And then we have the O, like yellow, the holem. When you see a dot above, O, yellow, O. And then like blue, ooh, the shurek, ooh, this is the long one, and the short one is ooh. Again, A, E, O, ooh. It's very easy. It's very easy. But you have to remember the pronunciation in general. Again, let me repeat it because it's very important, the vowels, when you come to read the Torah. Because one vowel will change the meaning of a word. A, E, O, U. And by the way, these are the same vowels like Aramaic. The people who took Aramaic course with me, it's very similar vowels, but different names. But you have to know, in the Hebrew scriptures, we did not have vowels before. The vowels were added later in history. So let us start with the alphabet Aleph. Let me pronounce it for you. And this is like a bunch of lines and dots, as I said. And that we read it, it's very important, the nikud we call it, and it's very important to read it. So this is the short, the patah, so short, where we say a. If you see an alphabet with like a line and a T, like a T, a line down and a T, you say kametz, gadol. We say again, ba, ga, the letter dalet, da, short, patah, only a line short, da. And when we see like a T letter, we say da. It's very like short and long. A dash, we're going to start only this vowel today. We're going to learn only this vowel. The kametz gadol, this vowel, only we're going to learn. And the patah, and the patas, and this vowel. All right. This is short. And this is long. Long again. Ba. You can repeat after me. Like bet is ba. Gimel is ga. Dalet is da. So it's a bunch of lines and dots. Now we're going to start with the first alphabet. And people who were with me in the last class, we learned about the Proto-Sinaitic, which is from Sinai, Canaanite, you can say. This is the origin of the Aleph. Aleph, every Hebrew word have a meaning, have a name. It means the oxen, Aleph. Paleo-Hebrew and Phoenician, this is Phoenician, this is same period, Phoenician, and Aramaic. This is the Aleph in Aramaic, which is Olaf in Aramaic. And this is the ancient Hebrew. And I want you to see how the ancient Hebrew letter changed. Like this, all the way like this. And it was like this, like a bull. But then they separated the 2 lines, you see, like this with the time. And they done it like this. And then with the advancing of the letter, the Hebrew, this is the biblical Hebrew, by the way. The biblical Hebrew became like this, Aleph, which we're going to learn how to write it. So this is the biblical Hebrew. There is also the modern Hebrew. I'm going to show you also some modern Hebrew, the modern Hebrew. So this is the Samaritan language also. You see how it's all developed from the Phoenicians, Aramaic, Hebraic, originally Canaanite. And then in Arabic, we say Aleph. It's a straight line. Aleph. Also, the Greek developed from the Canaanite, which is Alpha. We say Alpha in the Greek. All right, Alpha. And then the Latin. So, but we're going to focus on the Hebrew here. We're going to focus on how to write the Hebrew alphabet, and originally Canaanite, originally Canaanite all the way. Okay, so it's developed earlier in history, Middle Bronze Age, around 3500 BC. Anyway, so this is the letter Aleph, and I'm gonna show you how we write it, and it's very easy. You just make, it's very important with the lines. I'm gonna draw it for you, and it's very important. Most of the Hebraic alphabet are inside the lines. There's only one Lamed, which we're gonna learn later, which we write it a little bit above the line, but all the other alphabets are inside the line, and we make a straight line all the way curved, all the way down. This is the first thing, how we write. It's very important to know how we write it and take it step by step and easy. Then another line up, straight meeting with it, and then a second line all the way from the middle down. Aleph. Let me repeat it again. A line in the center, and then number 2, we start a line from the top down to 1/3 of it, and then to go to the left 1/3, we're gonna make another line. And by the way, every letter has numerical number and have a meaning and have a value. So Aleph, this is a alphabet Yud. Later we're gonna learn the alphabet Yud. And this is also Yud. And by the way, the numerical value of the Yud is like important, because like every letter have a numerical value. And there's also a numerical value for the one in the center, which is Vav. This we'll learn later. So Aleph is comprised from Vav, Yud, and Yud. And Yud on the top represents God, and Yud in the down presents people, because God is always up in heaven, all right? And people are down, and in the center, who's uniting them is Jesus. So the letter Aleph show us the unity in plurality. So the Vav is Jesus connects us with the Father, okay? So there is complete science behind the forms and how it's formed, the letters and the numerical values. And the numerical value of Aleph is 1. 1 is the master number, right? It have its own unique and power. Everyone is influenced by number 1. There's an inner strength in that number. You know, whenever crisis happens, it's a solid number. Aleph is a solid word. Aleph represents Jesus. It's a silent word, but it's very solid. So from the numerical values, we can understand more about each alphabet. And each alphabet have a meaning. Aleph, Aleph. Depends how you pronounce it, have different names, different meanings. Aleph, we said, is number 1. Aleph is 1000. All right. So every letter have a meaning, which we're gonna learn. So Aleph can be like a letter or a number of a spiritual awakening, or the teacher. We can say Aleph is the teacher. It's a positive thinking and the power of manifestation between God and people through Jesus and the Holy Spirit. So this is unique gifts that God had put in these names and these alphabets. Anyway, so there's a depth when we understand each letter. Now we're going to go to the next alphabet, which is Bet. Bet. Now, Proto is from Sinai, and this is like hieroglyphic with Egyptians. And look, it's like a floor plan. Look how we make it like this, like this. This is the original how we print it. So it's like a house, a blueprint of a house. This is how it started, all right? This is how Egyptians wrote. And then it was developed to Phoenicians and then Aramaic. In Aramaic, this is how we write, which is called Beth in Aramaic. Beth in Aramaic, Phoenicians, and then Hebrew, Paleo-Hebrew, or ancient Canaanite, all right? And then God developed the Greek, Beta, the Greek Beta, all right, here, how we write it, and then the Latin, and then the Arabic, Ba. This is the Arabic, Ba. This is the Samaritan, like Fe. And then what for us is important to learn is the Hebrew, the biblical Hebrew. This is what we focus on. Bet, the biblical Hebrew. And this is the modern Hebrew. Bet. Anyway, I don't want you to be confused, but we're going to focus on the biblical Hebrew. The biblical Hebrew. Bet, what does it mean? God have a desire to dwell with us even in our homes. And what are our homes is dimensional. It's our souls, all right? This is why God have the Mishkan. You know what's the Mishkan? The tabernacles. He wanted to dwell with people in temples, in synagogues. So again, every Hebrew letter have minimum 3 layers. First physical, then spiritual, then numerical. So the physical, we live in a house, in a beit, all right, in a building. And the house, the spiritual is the soul. And the numerical value is number 2. Number 2 is like where Torah starts with Beit, the house, Beit, Bereshit, number 2. God and people, God and house, 1, then the people is 2. So there's a very important value for the letter Bait, Bait. This is how we write Beit. This is Bait, Bet, Yud, Tet. Forget about the Yud and the Tet, but we're learning Bet today. And it depends, by the way, on what script you have. So this is how we write Bet, which we're going to learn it. But anyway, you see here also the vowels. So we said this is A, short, Ba. So, and this is E. This is the herek in the vowels. We say A, E. See how we pronounce it? Bait, Bait, which literally means house, all right? The Yud have a meaning, which is the strong hand of God, the Yud. The Tav, the Tet, is a covenant. So a bait, literally, the alphabet bait, Be, Bet, literally means the house of the power of the covenant. And who have the power of the covenant? Jesus. You see how each letter, if your home is a strong foundation on Jesus, so you have the covenant. So each letter, alphabet have a meaning. Bait. Bait means the covenant, the house. Now let me show you how we write it. So it's important also how to do it. Straight line at the top. This is number 1. Okay, first thing. Number 2, another straight line down. Number 2. And number 3, you make a line from here. You see, it's always from right to left. Don't make a left to right, right to left. It's important. So, and this is Bet. And keep a little dash here. a little dash here. And remember, this is the dagesh. This is number 3. This is the dagesh, the dagesh. All right, a dot, a dot. If you have a dot, you say be, bet. If you don't have a dot, you say ve. So let me write it again. A straight line, 1, another line straight down, 2, and another line. A little bit, you give more space, more space. And this is without a dot, we say ve, vet. And let me show you also, just for an extra piece of information, how we write the modern Hebrew, bet. This is how we write it. Like this, like this, like this, like this. Another time, like half a circle. You don't need to study it, but this is for your information. And this is bet, and this is vet. And also, let me tell you how we write aleph. We write modern aleph. I showed you earlier, but this is modern aleph. Half a circle with a line down, aleph. Anyway, we're going to concentrate today on bet. So 1 and 1 makes 2, right? Makes a house. So everything is created in pairs, in 2, heavens and earth. Death and life, sin and grace, in order for things to function, all right? And house is life. House is a life. So bet means life. And when Jesus is in the house, it brings life. Anyway, so this is the meaning of the alphabet bet. We're going to go to another alphabet today. Before that, we're going to learn some Hebrew words. And I will write it for you in the biblical Hebrew, and I'll pronounce it for you. This is Aleph with a short A, patah, which means A. And this is Bet with a long kametz, is Ba. This is A, Ba, and Aleph. So we pronounce it like this. A, Ba. You see the difference? A, Ba. This is long, and this is short, and this is long. A, Ba. Which means everyone know what is the meaning of Abba, which means a father, a father. And by the way, let me write for you the script in biblical Hebrew or the script in newspapers. If you read a newspaper in Israel, it will be in the way of like print style. Like books, if you read books, it's in a print style. This is how the Aleph is. And the bet, we just learned the Aleph, and now the bet, we said to the right and down, and then like this, and we put the dagesh and the vowels, the short vowel A and the long vowel Ba, and then also another Aleph down, this and like this, Abba. So we have numerical value of Abba. Aleph, we said 1. Bet, numerical value is 2. And Aleph, numerical value is 1. So here we have 3. All together become 3. What is 3? 3 is the completion in the Father. So the name Abba is a father. We are always complete with the Father. Okay? So this is why numerical values are important. The father completes the family. He's the head of the family. Another, let's practice also the 2 alphabets we learned for now, Aleph and Bet. But we're going to read it now. First, Bet with a dot. We say it's dagesh, so it's Be. Without a dot is Ve. But with a dot is important, is Be. And here is the long vowel, right? the kametz, gadol, ah. So we pronounce ba. If it was a short, we say ba. But this is a long, like a T, ba. And then we have aleph, so it's silent, ba, which literally means come, all right? Ba, for a male, ba, for a female, boy. But anyway, ba. Let us write it. We learned how to write bet. And then this is with the kametz gadol and the aleph. Ba, ba. Sometimes they write aleph in a different ways, but it depends on the script. Sometimes they write it like this, more decorative, like this, and different forms, okay? But you have to understand this is the same form, all right? They write it in a different ways, but this is aleph. But I'll teach you exactly how it's written in the Bible, in the biblical context, okay? Ba, we said, ah, ba, ba. Now we're gonna learn the third Hebrew letter, which I said every Hebrew letter have a sound, and how it started in the ancient Egyptian style, okay? And we say the sound is ge, gimel. You hear this? Ge, ge, the sound. Ge, like gamal. You see here how the hump of a camel, this is how it came because of drawings, all right? By the way, this is Phoenician Aramaic. This is how we write in Aramaic, also like a camel, gomal in Aramaic. This is in Samaritan, how we write it. Very similar. This is in Arabic, how we write it. We say jim in Aramaic, in Arabic, jim, jim. And then we have Greek gamma, gamma, Greek, gamma, gamma, or gamma, it's how you pronounce it, double M-A, gamma. Then we have the Latin, but we're gonna focus on the Hebrew, all right? Hebrew, we say gimel, gimel, and look how we write it. It's interesting, all right? Look how we write it. It looks like it's someone, foot, 2 feet, right? 1, 2 feet. He's like walking, like a high heel. This, the Hebrew letter gimel, presents progress or movement. We should keep moving in this world, all right? We should keep moving. The idea of walking with God, all creation is walking towards God and with Jesus. We are alive, we are aware of our hearts and pulses and muscles, and we are running towards Him for the call. So you see how Gimel, 3, God, Son, Holy Spirit, 3 together. We are desired, made to keep moving and to have hunger for His Spirit. By doing good deeds, all right? By doing good deeds. We say in Hebrew, tikkun olam, make a better world, keep moving. Anyway, that's the Hebrew letter. Let's Gimel. Let's now learn how to write it. How to write it. Gimel. Gimel. So make a dash on the top, the first thing. And then a straight line all the way down. And then almost from the center, another line, tilt a little bit, like a leg. Gimel. Gimel. Let me try again, show you. It's important to learn exactly how to write the alphabet. And I want you to train. And later, at the end of the lesson, there is a lot of exercises I'm going to give you. So do these exercises. Straight line to the right, and then all the way down straight. And then another line shifted to the left, Gimel. And this is Gimel, all right? Without a dot, Gimel, the dagesh, Gimel, all right? 3, okay, 3. numerical value of Gimel is number 3. Okay, we have continuation. You know, we have Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, 3. We have priests, Levites, and prophets, 3. This is a theme in the Old Testament, Gimel. Keep moving, all right? Gimel. A new dimension, a third dimension, harmony, like a triangle, all right? Together, triangle, harmony. Now we're going to learn some Hebrew words. I know there are some letters we did not learn yet, but just bear with me. You're going to read them all, but I'm going to point for the letters we learned so far and give you examples. All right, so I'm going to read it for you. This is Gimel, Gimel with a dot, Dagesh, Gimel with a, also a kametz. And this we pronounce it Ga. All right, Ga. And then this is the letter Mim. We did not learn yet. We're going to learn later. And this is the letter Lamed, Lamed. So we pronounce it. This is Gimel, Mim, Lamed. So we pronounce it Ga, Ma, L. Because we have 2 kametz gadol, which we say A, long, Ga, Ma, L. Gamal, which literally means a camel. And let me show you how we write it. Like this and like this. Gimel, we just learned it. Then we have Mim, 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 Mim. And then we have Lamed, Lamed. This should be up a little bit. So this is the letter Lamed. Gamal. With the vowels. Gamal. This is also the Torah, but let me show you also how we write it in advance. I want you, because some people know already the letters, how we write it also in modern Hebrew. Gimel, like this, and then like this, and then like this, Gamal, Gamal. So this is the Mim. Sorry, this should be like, I mixed between the written. This is the Mim. This is the Mim, Gamal. In Biblical Hebrew. Let me repeat it in Biblical Hebrew. I have like 5 languages in my mind, sorry. So, Ga, then the Mim, like this, and like this, and like this in Biblical Hebrew, and then the Lamed, Gamal. Now, there's another important point. If we put a Dagesh in Mim, it became very strong. We didn't see it among the 6 Dagesh alphabets. But this is an extra rule. If you see Mim in the dot in the center, Dagesh, which means it's double M, but pronounced 1 M. So you put emphasis on it. Gamal. So it's like double M, Gamal. It's strong M, we can say. It's a strong M, Gamal. Anyway, this is, we learned the letter today, Gimel, and later we're going to learn Dalet. So this is for some of you who know Hebrew. Gimel, Dalet, Ain, Vav, because they have a knot, is Wow, Nun. So we say Gidon. Remember there's a dot. We said whenever there's a dot above the Vav, okay, it comes Holem, which is O, Gidon. It's like you say Gidon. But anyway, Gideon is one of the persons in the Bible, Gideon. And then another word, Gad, which is the tribe of Gad, right? So we have here a kamatz, like a T. We say Gad. This is the tribe descendant from Gad, the 7th son of Jacob, which literally means like blessed or lucky, Gad. Okay. And then we have galit, another word. This is gimel. All right, this is gimel. We learned it. But this is a name in Hebrew. Ga, we say ga because of the kamets. Lamed, there is two dots. This is an extra vowel we didn't learn yet. It's an extra vowel with two dots. We say E, gali, galit, galit. All right, galit. This is Yud and this is Tav, which is a name in Hebrew. Galit, legalot, to reveal it means. If someone names Galit, the root letter is revelation, to reveal in Hebrew, Galit. And then Gag, let me write for you Gag, and I want to show you how the vowels are important. Gag literally means a roof in the Bible, Gag. So this is how we learn to write the alphabet. Gimel with a kametz, Ga, then another Gimel, another Ga, Gag, Gag. So if we put another kametz up, we say gaga, gaga. So pronunciation is important, but there is no kametz here. So we say gag, gag, which is a roof in Hebrew. So the vowels can change meanings in scripture. Now we're going to learn today the last alphabet for today. Dalet, Dalet, Dalet. So this is the ancient one from the Pharaoh's time. Have also a fish, dag, dag, dag. And by the way from the ancient Egyptians, it was not dag, it was deg. The word was deg, D-E-G, deg. Deg, which also means fish. So they wrote, in Hebrew, it became dag. But anyway, so it's the shape of the fish. But also dalet means a door. You see a triangle, a door, equal, a door. So this is the ancient Paleo-Hebrew. This is the Samaritan. And this is the Aramaic here. Oh, I see it down here. Aramaic, like this, and a dot. All right, Phoenician. And then the Samaritan, and then Dal in Arabic, Dal. I'm just giving you an idea how they are all similar Semitic. 11 Semitic languages in this part of the world, all similar. Dal, this is how we write Dal in Arabic. But the most important for us, also Greek, which is Delta. This is Greek, Delta, and this is Latin. But the most important is Biblical Hebrew. This is how we write it. So this is how we write Biblical Hebrew, and this is how we write modern Hebrew. But we're going to focus on the Biblical Hebrew, which literally means the door. And who is the door? The sound D. The door is Jesus. And look, the Dalet, even the shape of it is like Dalet represents someone not perfect. Even the way we write it, let me show you. So we write the Dalet like this, and straight line on the top. And then we keep a little bit space here, small space. It's not perfect, simple, not perfect, poor. Always to represent someone humble and poor. So this is only a lonely position. This is an extra bit to remind us to stay humble. Like King David, his name starts with David. So if you know the meaning of the words and the meaning and the letters and the numerical values, David. So he stayed humble, humbleness. King David, his name starts with Dalet and ends with Dalet. This is how we write David. David. This is Vav. David. So he stayed humble from the beginning of his life to the end of his life. Dalet. And he was like, David, his heart was with God. So when we are humble, this is the key, our hearts, and we are obedient, we come with God. So this little point is like the ego, that we should keep working on it, all right? Because it's all about relationship. The numerical value of Dalet is number 4, the numerical value. Again, we said there's dimensions, physical, spiritual, round, all right? So The value of number 4 is very important in Torah. We have 4 seasons. We have 4 types of creation: minerals, vegetables, animals, humans. We have 4 elements of earth, like that creates the earth, the word fire, soil, air, and water. By the way, the name God is made from 4, Yahweh, Yahweh. And even in Pesach, Passover, they have a meal. They drink 4 cups of wine to remember the 4 words of God, redemption in the Torah. Because God, he will save them, he will redeem them, and they will become free. Yahweh, Yahweh, which we're gonna learn about that name. 4 is number important. So again, it's very simple to write Dalet, like straight line. This is the biblical Hebrew. And remember always to leave this part, all right? And then the modern Hebrew, Dalet, is like this, Dalet. Let me repeat again, Dalet. But we're gonna focus on biblical Hebrew. Now, if there is a point in the center, the Dagesh, it become a different word and a different meaning. It's become pronounced differently and sounds differently. We say then the, not de, not like D, not like duck, like the, like the letter the. Let me give you examples. And we just learned the first 4 letters, Aleph, Bet, Gimel, and Dalet. So this is how we write Bet. Of course, without a dot, without a dagesh is ve, with a dagesh is be. And then we have the patah with this short a, bad, not bad, bad. And this is the dalet. So if it was bet like this, and with the kametz, like a shape T, and with dalet, it's become a different word, become bad. So it's a short one, bad. Bad means literally close in Hebrew. Gadim, close, bad. Another example. We learned these 3 letters already, 3 alphabets. Bet, with a dagesh, with a patah. Then we learned about Gimel, with a dot, with a kametz, and then with a dalet, with a dalet. So how we pronounce this? Bagad, bagad. Now this is very important, the vowels, all right? The vowels can change the meaning of the word, and there's an example. Bagad in Hebrew, in the Torah, means betrayed, betrayed. But now look how I'm gonna write baged in a different pronunciation with a sigol, with a. This is a sigol. These are the vowels. These are another vowels we didn't learn yet. But this is an example to show you how the words change. We learned these 2 vowels today. The a. These vowels is the e, the 3 dots. So this is the same letters, bet, like above, you see. But we are not using the patah. We're using the 3 dots, which is E, the sigol, the E. So it's B, not ba or ba, it's B. And then the Gimel, see, the same like up, the same word, like up. And then the Dalet. But here is the sigol. So we say beged, which literally means garment. Beged. Here, bagad. Bagad literally means betrayed. So it's the same 3 alphabets, but when the nikud, when the vowels changes, the meaning of the word change. That's an example. Beged. Then we have someone can read this. This is Dalet, Da, with a kametz. And then this is Gimel, Dag, dalet, da, it's a long one, da, and then gimel, which literally means fish, dag, dag. And this is David. So this is how we pronounce David in Hebrew. All right, remember this longer. And then there is the kametz, which make it da. Then the vav, we did not learn this letter, but this is a dot, herek, which is e, this bellow, e, da, v, and then dalet. So the right way to pronounce the name of David in Hebrew is David. David. This is da, a, and this is e, herek, e, David. So this is in Hebrew, the name of David, David. Now, at a later stage, we do not read vowels because we know the names. So this is at a later stage that you will learn so much Hebrew that you can read the words in the right formation without even vowels, David. But this takes practice. Because most Jews and most people who know Hebrew, we read it without the vowels, but we know the meaning of the words. So it become like something normal to read, something we used to. So what we learned today is lesson number 1. We learned the first 4 alphabets. Let me do a revision. Remember these words. Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet means abjad, abjad. Then we're going to learn lesson 2, Hawaz. Then Hutti, lesson 3. Then Kalman, Kalman, lesson 4. Then Sa'fats, lesson 5. And the last one, Karshat. Let me repeat. Abjad, Hawaz, Hutti, Kalman, Sa'fats, Karshat. So we learned today Aleph, how we write it, and the meaning of it. And the numerical value was 1. We learned today Beit, what does it mean, a house, a foundation. The numerical value 2. We learned Gimel, and what is the meaning of it, and the shape of it, and the sound of it, and numerical value 3. And this is Dalet, what we learned today. Next lesson, we're going to learn Hey, Vav, Zain, and have more examples. Also, a revision, what we learned today is the vowels. Only we learned the patah, the short one, and then we learn the kametz. You can say kametz or kametz gadol. Gadol means long, okay, or big. So we learned ba. We learned the letter B, ba. Ba or ba. Gimel, ga or ga. Dalet, da or da. All right, da or da. So a bunch of lines and dots help us to read words. And again, with experience, you will read it without the vowels, without the nikud. I want you at this stage, hopefully by the end, the last lesson, I want you to start to read Torah, okay? So I'm gonna give you an example here. This is from Genesis chapter 1, the first 3 verses. Of course, verses, numbers, we don't have it in the Hebrew and the Torah. We have letters, alphabets. This is verse 1. This is verse 2. Bet is 2, as we learned the numerical value. And this is 3. Again, you will not find the numbers, you find alphabets. And when you read Torah, you don't find dots. You don't find exclamation marks. Only you find consonants, only with a space and vowels. Not like the English, you find comma, semicolon, dash, all right? So you have it very clear, only spaces, no capital letters, by the way, okay? But I'm gonna read for you and show you what alphabets we learned today. So we learned this one, Be, right? Remember Be? We learned this one. And also we learned another Be here. You can recognize it now. Then we learned the Aleph. Then another Aleph here. Okay, then another Aleph here. I don't know if you recognize the first letters we learned. Aleph. This is here Bet. Bet. All right, let me read it for you, okay? And this is my aim. By the end of these 7 lessons, you're gonna read the biblical Hebrew. I'm gonna read it for you with the vowels, all right? We didn't learn all the vowels yet. That's our first class, all right? This is our first class. You'll be impressed by the 7th class. You will be able to read and write the biblical Hebrew. So I'm gonna read it for you slowly. Berashit. Recognize how I am saying the vowels. Berashit. Bara. Elohim. Et. Hashamayim. Ve'et. Haaretz. Ve'haaretz. So I want you also, when you read, don't read quick. Berashit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. We have to divide even the word itself. Like this is, even one word can have 2 or 3 divisions. And it's very important when you learn Hebrew, just to pronounce it right and without rushing. And look what I'm gonna read. Be, this is one word. Ra, another word. Sheet is another word. So you see how you pronounce it? The more you pronounce it, this is 3 words in one word. And there's a meaning for it. It's so deep, but anyway. So when you pronounce the Hebrew, do not rush, but you have to, the same word, to pronounce it in a different stages. Berashit, bara. You see, bara is 2. Bara. Elohim is 1 because he's God. You don't, even in reading the sound, you don't divide it. You say 1 time because it's God. Elohim et Hashamayim. Hashamayim is 3. Mayim. 4 even. Hashamayim. Ve'et haaretz. Ve'et is 2 words. Ve'et. Haaretz. 3. Haaretz. We learned here, right? Today we learned the kametz. You see? Retz. Let me continue reading and hear my pronunciation. Ve'haaretz hayta toho veboho ve'chashaf al pni tohem veruach Elohim. I said ruach. If there's someone teaching you Hebrew from the West, he will say ruach, but we say ruach. Ha. So this is the right biblical pronunciation. Elohim marhefet al pani hamayim ve amar Elohim yehi or vehi or. Anyway, so this is what we're gonna end in reading. So I think I'm gonna take it day by day, lesson by lesson. But what is important, we learned the alphabets Bet, and we learned the alphabet Aleph, and we learned the vowels here, the long vowel, and we learned the short vowel, Good. So that was the lesson for today. And thank you so much. This is again the vowels. Again, let me repeat, the vowels is important. A, E, O, U, arm, A. E like pen. Green, E. O like yellow. U like blue. A, E, O, U. Anyway, you're gonna learn them. And we spoke about the 6 different final forms. And we spoke about the dagesh. And in order to remember these 6 letters, we said you have to remember it like this: Baged, Kafet. Bagid Kafet. Remember this, Bagid Kafet. Thank you so much for today, and we'll see you in lesson number 2. Anyone have any? I hope it was not hard. I hope I was not quick. I tried to make it. The language is very deep, but I'm trying to make it as simple as I can for Westerners. If it's hard for you, just have patience. I want you to have patience, because any language, it takes time. And with patience, because I don't want you to learn the language by heart. I want you to learn the language by meaning, by understanding the language and understanding the meaning of the letters. And when you understand the language, you can absorb it. And when you absorb it, you can remember it. And then it becomes easier for you. It makes sense to you. I can teach you all the alphabets in one lesson, but I want you to know the meaning of each alphabet. Why is this? Why is like alphabet here? Because it's very, very, it's very Semitic language, and the Semitic language have into layers. So, but I'm gonna get you step by step into these layers of understanding. And my aim for you is to start to read Torah and understand the Hebrew Torah. So anyone have a comment, a question about the first 4 letters we